Good day, everyone. The organization that I chose to write on was Creative Now Design. I personally found this company very interesting because I myself am a professional nail technician, and I really liked how this company is always building and sustaining product excellence through Deming's cycle method of process improvement with a constant focus on quality and above all safety. The research methods that I used for this project consisted of using C&D's website. I did find an educational video from YouTube, which I really liked, and you guys will see. The Fashionista website. Good Housekeeping actually had the article that pushed me to write about this topic on this research paper. And I also found some stuff from the Skin Cancer Foundation. And last but not least, this project would not be possible if we wouldn't use our textbook, Managing for Quality and Performance Excellence. The first stage of Deming's cycle is to plan. During this stage, you want to take a situation and find a problem. The next step would be to obviously try and find a solution to that problem. During this stage, you define the process, its start, and what it does. You also describe the process, list key tasks performed, and sequence of steps, people involved, equipment used, environmental conditions, work methods, and materials used. These two go hand in hand for me for this particular case because I will be talking about the use of shellac gel, and in order to cure that, you have to use UV light. Next would be to describe the players, external and internal customers and suppliers and process operators. You also define customer expectations, what the customer wants, when, and where for both external and internal customers. Determine what historical data are available and process performance, or what data needs to be collected to better understand the process. Obviously, if we don't understand our products, our systems, and our services, it would be very hard to try and point out the problem and be able to create a solution for that problem. We describe the perceived problems associated with the process performance, or what data needs to be collected to better understand the process. We also identify the primary causes of the problems and their impacts on process performance. We develop potential changes or solutions to the process and evaluate how these changes or solutions will address the primary causes. And after the organization is done gathering all the information and doing the appropriate research in order to be able to identify the problem and come up with an idea of a possible solution, then we can go ahead and select the most promising solutions. The second stage is where the organization actually implements the idea that is going to be happening for the solution. In this stage, you conduct a pilot study or experiment to test the impact of the potential solutions. You identify measures to understand how any changes or solutions are successful in addressing the perceived problem. It's very important to make sure that the solution that you're trying to provide for the problem is not going to eventually create another problem. Like I said, understanding what the problem is and understanding what effect the change will create for consumers is essential in order to properly choose the correct solution for your product, process, or service. The next stage is pretty much the most extensive stage, is where you study the overall effect of every aspect of the problem that has come up to the organization. You examine the results of the pilot study or the experiment. You determine whether process performance has improved. You identify further experimentation that may be necessary. For this particular case, C&D was brought into knowledge that methylpyrrolidine is actually a toxic chemical. Good Housekeeping stated that in June 2001, methylpyrrolidine was added to California's Proposition 65 list of toxic chemicals. And unfortunately, there are still some products out there that contain this. So it is very important for clients to look at the ingredients. And if you see that methylpyrrolidine is one of them, I strongly recommend not to use this, and go for their new and improved shellac gels that do not have methylpyrrolidine. Methylpyrrolidine actually produces reproductive toxicity, so it is actually very dangerous. During this stage, C&D also looked into the dangers of exposing their clients to UV lighting, and in order to do that, this is not something that anybody can just read. This takes professionals. So they used their R&D labs in order to create studies and compare the actual exposure of a UV light versus an exposure to the regular sun. So they did come up with the comparison that using a UV light to cure shellac gel is equivalent to going out in the sun for about a minute or two. So it's pretty much the same. Their solution consisted of course, removing methylpyrrolidine from their shellac gel and educating clients and encouraging them to use sunscreen in order to protect themselves from the service whenever they go get a gel manicure, which is what anybody would suggest. Someone that wants to go to a beach or you just want to go out swimming, you would essentially put sunblock to protect yourself from UV rays from the sun. And the last stage is where you actually act upon your solution process, and you select the best change or the solution. You also develop an implementation plan, what needs to be done, who should be involved, and when the plan should be accomplished. You standardize the solution, for example, by writing new standard operating procedures. And you establish a process to monitor and control process performance. C&D is a real big advocate for safety in their organization. They do pride themselves in providing the highest quality products in pretty much the world, but they do it in a safely manner. They also recommended, like I previously stated, for any clients that were going to go get gel manicures to apply sunscreen at least 15 minutes before the service is performed. And they also suggested the use of gloves like these on this image that protect the rest of their hand while their lights are being exposed to the UV light in order to cure the gel on their manicure. And it's, like I said, pretty much the same as recommending anyone that's going to go out to the sun to use sunscreen. One of the most important steps, I think, when implementing a new process is to educate consumers, clients, and professionals themselves in order to diminish any possibility of dangers that are being introduced or exposed to clients. And I found this video on YouTube, which I think it's very interesting, and I will let you guys watch.
Creative nail design reveals next generation of LED light, the wave of the future. Introducing the CND LED lamp designed to optimize light, time, and energy for maximum shine and long wear. For a complete chromatic cure of CND shellac and Brisa gel, engineered with patent-pending 3C technology that features 2 light beams to target long wear and shine. Energy that adjusts for each service step. Time-controlled pulsing for a precision cure. Step 1. A thin layer of base coat is cured for 10 seconds, pulsing with the CND LED lamp. Step 2. Energy adjusts to the shellac color or Brisa gel, then cures each layer for 60 seconds. Step 3. The top coat is applied and cured for 60 seconds, revealing crystal-like shine. Designed with optic mirrors to target exposure to the nail only. Now the future of light has arrived, only from CND, the world's leading professional nail company.
So, in conclusion, it is very important to understand that as long as society and technology are moving forward, there will always be room for improvement. And that is the way CND always looks at anything that they do. They are very innovative and they're always looking in how to make their products better and provide the best quality to all their customers across the world. It is also important to know that if there is knowledge, there is understanding. And if there is understanding, there is problem solving. If there is problem solving, there is planning. And if there is planning, there is process improvement. If there is process improvement, there is sustainability of safety, quality, and overall product excellence through the use of process improvement methods chosen by any given organization, as C&D did with following Deming's cycle in order for them to find a solution to a problem that was publicized. And no organization wants to have bad reviews. And I think CND did a really good job in turning around and fixing their problem right away. So I want to thank you guys for watching my video. I wish everyone good luck, not only on your report, but on all your endeavors. May you guys all have a blessed rest of your life if I don't ever hear from any of you guys after this. So, again, thank you